Welcome back to Hidden Stories. Here, every drama we share is more than a story, it is a lesson for life, a message of hope, and a reminder that God's Word is alive in our daily journey. Today, we continue with The Seed You Plant Today, Part 2. This is where David's journey teaches us about patience, resilience, and the reward of faithfulness. Stay tuned till the end, because the harvest moment you've been waiting for will bless your heart. And don't forget, watch, like, comment, share, and subscribe so you never miss another inspiring story.
Finally, the seed is alive. It's growing. Thank you, Lord. This is just the beginning. I almost gave up, but you never fail.
The first sign of growth may seem small, but it is proof that what was sown in faith is not in vain. Every harvest begins with tiny sprouts of promise. David, look at this. The soil is alive, there are sprouts everywhere. I can hardly believe it. It's like the land itself is smiling back at you.
Yes, Rachel. For so long, it seemed like nothing was happening. I watered, I prayed, and sometimes I almost gave up. But today, I see the reward of patience. The seed was working in silence all along.
See? Your patience wasn't wasted. Every day you came here in faith, even when there was no sign, even when doubt tried to overshadow you, you kept believing. And now look, the evidence is right before us. God has not forgotten you.
There were nights I lay awake, wondering if I had done something wrong, wondering if God had turned his face from me. Sometimes, I even questioned myself, did I plant correctly? Did I choose the right soil? Did I waste all this effort? But Rachel, today I understand. Growth takes time. Silence doesn't mean failure. Delay doesn't mean denial.
And that is the lesson, David. We often think that just because we don't see results immediately, nothing is happening. But beneath the soil, God is always at work. The roots were forming, the life was preparing, and today it broke through. These little sprouts are more than plants, they are testimonies of God's faithfulness. This is only the beginning. Imagine what this farm will look like in a few weeks, in a few months. These tiny sprouts will stretch into stalks, then into a harvest so great you won't even remember the days of waiting. Your faith has carried you to this moment, and God has honored it.
Yes, Rachel. You're right. God has honored faith. These sprouts are not just plants to me, they are hope, they are lessons, they are proof that patience always carries a reward.
Patience is not wasted when it is placed in the hands of God. The one who plants in faith may weep for a season, but joy comes when the first fruits of trust appear. Rachel's words remind us all, every tear, every prayer, every moment of waiting, none of it is forgotten. The harvest may tarry, but it shall surely come.
Ah, so the seeds have broken through the ground. That is good news. But remember this, my children, now your responsibility increases. These small sprouts you see before you, they are fragile, tender, and vulnerable. A careless step could crush them. A harsh sun could dry them. A storm could uproot them. Growth is not only about planting, it is about guarding what has begun.
Sir, what do you mean when you say responsibility increases? Isn't the hardest part over now that the seed has sprouted?
No, Rachel. The hardest part is not the sprouting, it is the sustaining. Anyone can plant a seed, but not everyone is patient enough to nurture it to maturity. These plants are like newborn children. They cannot protect themselves. They depend on your care, your consistency, and your wisdom. If you neglect them, even for a short while, they will wither before your eyes. But if you guide them, feed them, and shield them, they will grow into a harvest that blesses not just you, but many others. So it is not enough to celebrate their sprouting. I must now give even more of myself, It is a greater calling than I realized. That is the truth of life, David. Many people rejoice at beginnings, but they forget that beginnings are only the first step. A sprout can die before it becomes a harvest if it is not cared for. Faith, like these plants, must be nurtured daily. A marriage, like these sprouts, must be watered with patience and love. A vision, like these seedlings, must be guarded from the storms of doubt and fear. Nothing precious survives without commitment.
Then we cannot take this lightly, David. If these sprouts are fragile, then we must treat them like treasures. We must watch over them day and night, not carelessly, but faithfully. If God has entrusted us with this growth, then it is our duty to protect it until the harvest.
Thank you, sir. Your words open my eyes. I see now that my work is far from over. I was ready to relax, to celebrate, to rest in what I see, but I realize now that this is the beginning of greater responsibility. I will give myself fully to this task. I will not let carelessness rob me of the harvest that has been promised. Good. Remember this always, sprouts do not survive on joy alone. They survive on care. The same is true for everything in life that God gives us. Protect what is small today, and it will protect you tomorrow with abundance.
A few days later, the sprouts have grown taller, their green leaves stretching toward the sun. But among them, small wild weeds begin to appear. David, what's wrong? You don't look as joyful as yesterday. Are the plants sick?
Not sick, Rachel, but threatened. Look closely. These weeds weren't here before. They are sprouting faster than the plants, stealing the water, the nutrients, and the space. If I don't act quickly, they'll choke the life out of the sprouts I've waited so long to see.
They look so small, almost harmless. But beneath the soil, they are dangerous.
In life, distractions are like weeds. They begin small, almost invisible, but if you ignore them, they grow strong enough to strangle your future. Remove them early, or they will destroy the very growth you worked so hard to achieve. But sir, why do they come so quickly? I didn't plant them. I didn't invite them. I've been careful, I've been prayerful. And yet here they are, fighting against the seed I nurtured with so much effort. David, weeds don't ask for permission. They come uninvited. They grow without care, without planting, without watering. That is their nature. Just like in life, distractions, temptations, unnecessary burdens, wrong company, they appear on their own. You don't sow them, but they show up anyway. That's why a wise farmer does not just plant and walk away. He watches, he guards, he uproots.
That means we must be intentional. If we don't pull out the weeds, we might lose everything we've worked for. It's not enough to just celebrate growth, we must also protect it.
Yes, child. Many dreams have been planted, but few make it to harvest, because people allow the weeds of distraction to take over. A man starts with vision, but then laziness creeps in. A woman begins with prayer, but then doubt takes root. A young person receives a gift from God, but wrong friends and ungodly influences choke it out. Weeds always fight for the same ground as the seed, your heart, your mind, your time. Then I will not allow these weeds to steal my harvest. I see now that growth must be guarded every day. I must remove every distraction, every fear, every voice that does not come from God, before it takes root.
We will protect what God has given us. No weed, whether in the soil or in life, will destroy this promise.
That is the spirit. Remember this always, weeds are persistent, but persistence and vigilance defeats them. Never let down your guard, for as long as there is life, weeds will always try to grow. Remove them early, and your harvest will thrive.
In every garden, there are weeds. In every life, there are distractions. Some appear small, harmless, and insignificant, but if left unchecked, they can choke out greatness. The wise learn not only to plant but also to guard, not only to water but also to weed. For a harvest worth having requires constant vigilance. David, you've been at this for hours. Come, rest a while. Drink some water. You don't have to do everything in one day.
No, Rachel. If I rest too soon, the weeds will overtake me again. I know myself, I used to be careless, always postponing things. That's why I nearly lost my hope before. But not this time. This time, I will discipline myself until every weed is gone.
Discipline. It's not easy, David. But I see it changing you. The man I see today is not the same man who almost gave up weeks ago. You are stronger, more focused, more patient.
Yes, Rachel. Discipline demands sacrifice, but without it, dreams die. I've learned that it's not enough to wish for a harvest. You must work for it, even when it costs you comfort. Sweat is the price of growth. Sacrifice is the path to fruitfulness. If I cannot discipline myself here in the field, how can I expect to handle the harvest when it comes? David, you are learning one of life's greatest truths. Discipline is a bridge between desire and destiny. Many people want success, but they lack the discipline to endure the process. They start with excitement, but stop at the first sign of struggle. Discipline separates the dreamers from the harvesters. So discipline is not punishment, sir. It is preparation. Exactly. Discipline is the training ground of greatness. Look at your hands, blistered, sore, but stronger than yesterday. Look at your body, tired, yet capable of more than you imagined. This field is not just teaching you to farm, David. It is teaching you to endure, to focus, to persist. If you master discipline here, you will master it in every area of life.
Then keep going, David. Every weed you pull is more than just a plant removed, it is a weakness overcome, a distraction defeated, a step closer to the future God has promised you. Don't see this only as labor. See it as training for the man you are becoming.
I will not stop until this field is clean. If weeds demand my sweat, then I will sweat. If discipline demands my time, then I will give it. Nothing will destroy the harvest I've waited for. Nothing. Well spoken, my son. Remember, a disciplined farmer reaps not just crops, but wisdom. A disciplined life is a fruitful life.
Discipline is the silent force that turns faith into fruit. It is not glamorous, it is not easy, but it is the foundation of every lasting harvest. David, your hands may ache, and your body may be weary, but remember this, your effort today is your harvest tomorrow. Every drop of sweat that falls to this soil is not wasted. It is watering your future.
Sometimes I wonder, Rachel, will all this labor truly pay off? The weeds keep returning, the sun beats harshly, and my strength feels small compared to the work ahead. I fear that maybe, just maybe, my effort won't be enough.
Don't say that, David. Effort is never wasted when it is joined with faith. Look at the sprouts around you, they are living proof that your labor is not in vain. They are small today, yes, but one day they will cover this field. The same is true of your effort. What feels little today will one day become a harvest too large to measure.
You speak as though you can already see the harvest, even though all I see are fragile sprouts and endless weeds.
I can see it, David. I can see stalks rising high, fields full of grain swaying in the wind, and joy written all over your face as you reap what you planted. I see barns filled with abundance, and your name no longer associated with struggle but with testimony. Because you did not quit. Because you endured when it was easier to give up. The vision is already alive inside me.
You have a way of turning my weakness into strength, Rachel. Your words remind me why I cannot stop. If tomorrow depends on today, then I will keep giving my all, no matter how difficult today feels.
Exactly, David. Every act of effort is a seed. Discipline is the watering. Patience is the waiting. And faith is the sunlight. Together, they guarantee a harvest. You may not see the fullness yet, but you are building it with each step, each breath, each drop of sweat. One day, you will thank yourself for not giving up.
Thank you, Rachel. Your faith in me strengthens my faith in God. I will remember your words, effort today is harvest tomorrow. I will hold on to them every time I grow tired.
In life, it is easy to see only the struggle of today and forget the promise of tomorrow. Every moment of labor, every tear, every trial, when sown in faith, becomes the harvest of joy yet to come. The future is written by the sacrifices of today. David. Look at them. Just a few days ago, they were so tiny, almost too fragile to stand. But now, they are stretching upward, standing tall. This is beautiful.
Yes, Rachel. I remember when I first planted these seeds. I saw nothing but soil. I doubted, I questioned, I almost gave up. Then came the sprouts, weak, small, easily crushed. And now, look at them. They've grown strong because we did not stop caring, because we kept watering, weeding, and protecting. This is the power of consistency.
It feels as though they were telling us a story, reminding us that no matter how small something begins, with patience and steady effort, it will grow into strength. Truly, this is a lesson not just for the field, but for life.
They are doing well. And do you know why? Because you did not only plant, you remained faithful. You showed up every day, even when nothing seemed to change. This is how life works. Consistency may feel boring, even painful, but it makes the weak strong and the small great. Then the harvest is not just in the field, it is also in me. I am no longer the man who doubted, who almost gave up. I am becoming stronger, just as these plants are becoming stronger. Consistency is shaping me as much as it is shaping them.
Yes. And if we keep going, one day this field will not just be filled with tall plants, it will overflow with abundance. Today's growth is only the beginning. Consistency makes small seeds become strong. In the same way, the daily choices we make, though simple, though tiring, though unnoticed, are the building blocks of greatness. Growth is not the reward of one day's effort, but the fruit of faithfulness over time.
How is this possible? His crops are almost double mine in height. Look at how lush, how full they are. And mine. Mine looks smaller, weaker in comparison. Did I not work hard enough? Did I miss something? Why are his taller than mine?
David, don't be so hard on yourself. Our field is growing. Just last week, you were filled with joy at the sight of their progress. Don't let someone else's garden steal the joy of your own.
But Rachel, look at it. His plants are stronger, greener, almost ready for harvest, while mine are still finding their strength. What if all my effort? What if all this work isn't enough? What if my seeds were weaker? What if I failed somehow? David, I hear the voice of comparison in your words, and I must warn you, it is a dangerous voice. Do not let it poison your heart. Listen carefully, every seed has its own season. Every field has its own rhythm. What you see in your neighbor's field is not your failure, it is simply his season arriving before yours. But sir, it is hard not to see the difference. His harvest will come sooner, his joy will be greater. While I must keep waiting. Does that not mean he is blessed more than I am? David, hear me well. Blessing is not measured by speed. Blessing is not a race. Some plants shoot up quickly, but their roots are shallow, and when the heat comes, they wither. Others take longer to rise, but their roots go deep, making them unshakable. Which do you want? quick success that fades, or lasting growth that endures? I want lasting growth. But it feels unfair, watching others advance while I still wait.
David, remember what you told me just yesterday, that consistency shapes not only the plants but also you. Perhaps this delay is part of your shaping. Don't despise your journey because it looks slower than another's. What matters is not who is ahead, but who endures until the end.
David, the soil does not lie, and the seeds do not betray. What you planted with patience, and what you continue to nurture with faith, will bring forth its harvest in due time. Do not compare fields, for you do not know the battles that lie beneath their soil. Guard your heart from envy, it steals gratitude, and gratitude is the rain that keeps your plants alive. Every seed has its season. I must learn to trust mine. This can't be happening now. Not now when the plants have just begun to grow. The rain is too heavy, the wind is too strong. What if the soil washes away? What if the roots are torn out? Everything. Everything I've worked for could be gone in a single night. I have to go out there.
David, wait. Running into the storm won't calm it. You'll only endanger yourself. The field cannot be shielded with your hands. You've done your part, now you must trust what you've sown and the God who gave the rain.
Rachel, how can I trust when I can't see the outcome? What if this storm destroys everything? What if tomorrow I walk into that field and find nothing left but broken stems and washed away soil? I don't know if I can handle that kind of loss.
David, storms do not only destroy, they also test. The same rain that frightens you is the same rain that deepens roots, strengthens soil, and proves what is strong enough to last. Do not fear the storm, for it cannot erase your labor. It can only reveal its strength.
David, storms are not your enemy. They are parts of the farmer's journey. Do you think a harvest comes without a storm? No, my boy. The wind shakes the plants, yes, but it also teaches them to stand firm. The rain may bend them low, but it also gives them water they could not draw for themselves. But sir, what if the storm is too much? What if the roots are not deep enough? David, do you not remember what I told you? Every seed has its own season. Tonight, you must also learn, every storm has its own purpose. Do not measure the strength of your plants by how they look in calm weather. Measure them by whether they stand after the storm. That is where true strength is proven.
You've done your part faithfully. The rest is beyond your control. Sometimes, faith means watching the storm and choosing not to let fear uproot your heart. Trust the one who gives the harvest, David.
Then tonight, I will choose to trust. If the storm is a test, I pray my seeds will endure it. And if they do, perhaps I too will come out stronger. No. Oh no. Look at them. So many of them are bent, leaning toward the ground. The storm has left its mark. Look at the soil, it's scattered, messy, uneven. I knew it. I feared this would happen. My work, our work, it's ruined.
David, look closer. They may be bent, but they are not broken. Their roots are still in the soil. Their leaves, though heavy with water, are still green. What is alive can rise again. Do not mistake bending for death.
David, this is what I meant when I told you that storms are not your enemy. Yes, the rain was harsh. Yes, the wind was fierce. But see here, these plants that still stand, these roots that held firm, they tell a story. Life may bring storms, but the rooted survive. But sir, some of them look so weak. What if they never recover? What if the storm has stolen their strength for good? My son, weakness is not the end of growth. In fact, it is often the beginning. The storm has bent them, yes, but in that bending, Their roots were pressed deeper into the soil. Do you think strength comes only from sunny days? No, it comes from enduring nights like the one we just saw. The bent plant that survives today will grow stronger tomorrow than one that has never faced the wind.
David, I see hope here. Last night, you feared the storm would wipe away everything. Yet today, the field is still here. The seeds you planted are still alive. That is God's way of reminding you that not every shaking means destruction. Sometimes shaking means preparation.
Maybe I've been looking at storms the wrong way. I thought they were punishment, or a curse sent to undo my labor. But now I see, they are teachers. They bend but do not break. They shake but do not erase. And perhaps I needed to learn this lesson as much as the plants themselves. Yes, David. That is the lesson every farmer must learn, not only with crops, but with life. You see, people too will face storms. Families, marriages, even faith itself. But those who are rooted in truth, in patience, in God's word, they may bend, but they will not be uprooted. And when the storm passes, they rise stronger than before. Bent, but not broken. Shaken, but still standing. Yes, we will survive.
David, do you see this plant? Last night, it bent so low under the weight of the storm that anyone could have thought it was finished. But here it stands today. Your dreams are no different. They may bend under pressure, under trials, under setbacks, but they will not break if they are deeply rooted in faith, perseverance, and purpose.
Rachel, I hear what you're saying. But sometimes, when dreams bend, it feels as though they are breaking. I've felt that way so many times, when efforts seem wasted, when progress looks slow, when others seem to be moving faster. How do you keep believing when what you planted doesn't look like what you hoped for?
You keep believing by remembering what anchors you. Look at this soil, it's not glamorous, it's not loud, yet it holds everything together. That's how dreams work. What people see is the growth above the ground, but what truly matters is what happens below the surface. If your dream is rooted in God's plan, in hard work, and in patience, then no storm can destroy it. Bend, yes. Break, no. Because what is rooted deeply will always rise again.
Rachel is right, David. I have seen farmers lose entire harvests because their plants were not rooted deep enough. But I have also seen weak-looking stalks survive storms because their roots had gone down to find strength where eyes could not see. The same applies to your life. A shallow dream will be stolen by the first trial. But a rooted dream, a God-given dream, will endure every storm and still bear fruit in its time. So, it's not about appearing strong all the time. It's about being deeply anchored, even when I look weak. It's about trusting that bending is not the end of me, and that storms cannot uproot what God Himself has planted. My dreams. They can survive.
Yes, David. Your dreams can survive. Even more, they can thrive. Remember this, storms don't only test your strength, they reveal it. They strip away the shallow and prove what is genuine. If your dream is deeply rooted, every storm you survive only makes you stronger for the harvest ahead.
And that, my son, is why farmers rejoice after storms. Because the ones that remain are the ones destined to bear fruit. So it is with dreams. Only what is real, rooted, and resilient will last. And you, David, must decide, will your dreams just be wishes that fly with the wind, or roots that grip the ground until harvest? I choose roots. I choose to plant deeper, to stand even when I bend, and to believe that storms do not cancel harvests, they prepare me for them. Yes, my dreams will survive.
After a few weeks of working, waiting and hoping.
Rachel. Mr. Adams. Look. Do you see it? It's happening. The cobs are here, small, but real. All these weeks of waiting, all the sweat, the doubt, the storms, oh, I can't believe my eyes. It's no longer just leaves. It's fruit. It's harvest beginning right before me.
Yes, David, I see it. Do you remember the first day you planted these seeds? You doubted if they would even sprout. You questioned if the waiting was worth it. But here they are now, proving that patience, consistency, and faith never return empty. What you see today is the answer to every long hour you spent watering, every weed you cleared, and every tear you held back when you feared it wouldn't work. The harvest has begun, and this joy you feel now is only the beginning.
Rachel, I wanted to give up so many times. I thought others were moving faster than me, reaping before me. I thought my storm had destroyed me. But today, standing here, I realized God was working silently beneath the soil, even when I couldn't see it. These cobs aren't just food. They are a testimony, proof that waiting is never wasted when the roots are strong. My heart feels so full right now, as if the harvest is already more than enough. David, this is the beauty of harvest. It is never sudden, it is always the result of hidden labor. What you see here today was growing all along, even when you could not see it. The soil was busy, the roots were busy, and God was busy. Never measure your progress only by what the eyes can see. For many days, it looked like nothing was happening, but beneath the ground, life was forming, quietly, faithfully. And when the time was right, it revealed itself. That's how dreams are. They don't shout while growing, but when their season comes, they cannot be hidden. So the harvest doesn't just teach me about farming, it teaches me about life. It teaches me that progress doesn't always make noise, that God's work often happens in silence, and that patience always has a reward. These cobs remind me that faith was never foolish. The wait was worth it, every second of it. And now, this joy is like no other.
And remember, David, these cobs are only the first signs. They are promises of a fuller harvest to come. Do not stop now. Keep caring, keep watering, keep protecting. The same way dreams give you glimpses before the fullness, so do harvests begin with signs. Celebrate these beginnings, but stay faithful until every stalk is heavy with fruit. For he who starts the work is faithful to complete it.
Yes, David. Today you see signs, tomorrow you will carry baskets. Today you taste hope, tomorrow you will taste abundance. But never forget, the signs of harvest are not only for eating, they are for reminding you that perseverance is never wasted. So, stand tall like these plants, for your season has truly begun. Then I will not grow weary. I will guard these plants like treasure. I will rejoice in small beginnings and trust that the greater harvest is coming. Today is proof enough that God has been faithful all along. And I promise, I will remain faithful too.
It's time for harvest.
I can hardly believe this is the same field where I buried tiny seeds weeks ago. I remember kneeling in the soil, wondering if anything would even sprout. Today, I'm standing in the middle of abundance. What once looked so small, so fragile, has now become something strong enough to sustain me and others. This feels like more than just farming, it feels like life itself teaching me a lesson.
That's the beauty of harvest, David. The process looked slow, even painful at times, but here we are. The reward always outweighs the waiting. I still remember when you almost gave up because you thought nothing was happening underground. But see now, your patience wasn't wasted, your discipline wasn't ignored. This maze is proof that perseverance pays off.
See, David? What looked small is now feeding you. That's how God works. He begins with a seed, whether it is faith, patience, kindness, or a dream, and if you nurture it with consistency, humility, and discipline, it multiplies beyond what your eyes first saw. This is not just about farming. It is about understanding that everything in life grows by the principle of sowing and reaping. You cannot plant laziness and expect abundance. You cannot sow carelessness and expect peace. But when you sow with faith and diligence, what you reap will always surprise you. I see it clearly now. Every sweat drop in the sun, every moment I bent to clear weeds, every tear I shed when the storm came, it was all preparing me for this. This maize isn't just food. It's a testimony that what God starts, He finishes. I used to envy others when their crops seemed taller. I almost doubted my season. But now I understand, each seed has its own timing, and comparing only steals the joy of the journey.
And this harvest is only the beginning. You'll eat from it, you'll share it with others, and you'll plant again from the same abundance. The cycle will continue. That's why life is a journey of seasons. Some seasons require patience, others demand hard work, some test us with storms, but eventually, the harvest season always comes. And when it comes, it makes all the pain worth it.
Remember this day, David. Remember that small beginnings are never the end of the story. Never despise them, because within every seed lies a forest. You didn't just grow maize, you grew resilience, discipline, faith, and wisdom. And these are harvests no storm can destroy. Take this lesson with you into every area of your life. Just as this maize will feed your body, the lessons you've learned here will feed your spirit for years to come.
The harvest is proof that time, patience, and faith are never wasted. In life, what you nurture with care will always yield fruit in its season. Truly, what looks small today can become tomorrow's abundance.
I understand now, dreams need planting, patience, and care. No rush, no shortcuts. For so long, I thought success was about speed, about how quickly I could get what I wanted. I compared myself to others, envied their growth, and almost gave up when mine seemed slow. But standing here today, I see the truth. Nothing worth having grows overnight. Just as these maize seeds took time to sprout, grow roots, fight weeds, and survive storms, so must dreams. They require faith in the unseen, discipline in the process, and patience for the right season.
That's exactly it, David. A seed doesn't argue with time, it just grows. It doesn't compare itself to the seed next to it, it simply follows its own design. And you know what? The same God who designed the seed also designed our lives. He knows the right timing for every dream. You've learned what many people never discover, that rushing only destroys, but waiting produces strength. Your dreams will flourish the same way this maize did, not by hurry, but by steady care.
David, what you've realized is a principle that governs every area of life. Dreams are like seeds. If you plant them and expect instant results, you'll only harvest frustration. But if you plant with vision, water them with diligence, protect them from distractions, and give them time, the harvest will always come. Remember this, shortcuts may look attractive, but they often lead to shallow roots. And anything with shallow roots falls at the first storm. The strength of your harvest lies in the depth of your patience. I see it now, sir. Patience isn't weakness, it's strength. Care isn't a waste, it's an investment. And waiting isn't delay, it's preparation. From today onward, I won't despise small beginnings, and I won't be in a hurry to see everything happen at once. Because true growth takes time, and every dream worth living requires endurance. I want to live by this principle for the rest of my life.
And you will, David. This farm has taught you more than how to grow maize, it has shown you how to live. Just as the harvest is sweeter because of the hard work and waiting, your future victories will taste sweeter because you learned patience now.
Well said, David. Never forget this day. The harvest isn't just in the field, it's in your heart. You've harvested wisdom, and that is a treasure no thief, no storm, and no season can take from you. As long as you remember that dreams are seeds, and time is the soil in which they grow, you will never lose your way.
True growth takes time. Just as seeds become harvests, so do dreams, if planted, nurtured, and patiently cared for. In life, the greatest fruit comes not to those who rush, but to those who endure. Every day, knowingly or unknowingly, you are planting seeds. Your thoughts are seeds. Your words are seeds. Your actions are seeds. Some may look small and insignificant, but in the soil of time, they take root. What you plant today will surely shape your tomorrow. If you plant anger, you will reap regret. If you plant kindness, you will reap peace. If you plant laziness, you will harvest lack. But if you plant faith, diligence, and love, your harvest will overflow with joy. Remember, a harvest does not appear in a day, it comes after watering, after waiting, and after storms. So plant wisely, nurture patiently, and when the season is right, you will harvest joyfully. Just as David has learned, so must we all. Life's harvest is not rushed, but faithfully grown. And when it finally comes, it will be worth every moment of patience. Never forget, the seed you plant today becomes the life you will live tomorrow. Choose your seeds with care, and your harvest will be beautiful. Galatians 6 verse 9. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we faint not. Thank you so much for watching today's story on Eden Stories. We truly appreciate your time and support. Remember, every seed you plant, whether in your family, your career, or your faith, will bring a harvest one day. Don't rush the process. Trust God's timing, and your harvest will surely come. Please like this video, share it with others, drop a comment about what touched you the most, and subscribe so you can continue this journey of inspiration with us. God bless you richly, and see you in the next story.